Welcome back to Annoying Films. No introduction needed this time because I'm looking at the absolute action classic that is Die Hard. And it follows right after this annoying title card. You probably know what happens in Die Hard, but let's have a brief summary of the part I want to discuss today. John McClane flies from New York to LA to have an argument with his estranged wife. He's picked up from the airport by unprofessional limo driver Argyle and driven to Nakatomi Plaza. Argyle gives him the number for the car phone in the limousine. Remember that. McClane goes upstairs, meets some supporting characters and has that argument. Back downstairs, Hans Gruber, his incredible charisma, and his gang arrive in the back of a magical ambulance spawning truck and immediately seize control of the building. McClane hears gunshots, quickly arms himself and sees a villain on the prowl. Aided by some distracting boobies, McClane makes a run for the near fire escape and then hurries up the stairs. One of the special things about Die Hard was that McClane, unlike a lot of action heroes, was not indestructible. He made mistakes and he got hurt. Compare this to, say, a Steven Seagal film, in which the supposed hero is vastly superior at fighting to his opponents and makes it through major battles without even getting hit. McClane's initial plan isn't to face the terrorists, but not really terrorists, head on. Let's look at his next steps. First, he tries a phone to get help and finds it isn't working. Secondly, he pulled the fire alarm to get help, but this doesn't work. At this stage, his plans are interrupted by the arrival of a minor goon, which leads to a fight, and the result is that McClane gets his hands on a radio. Third, McClane goes to the roof and contacts an unhelpful 911 dispatcher and explains how he doesn't want a freaking pizza. In summary, McClane's plan is this: get help. At this stage, all McClane knows is that he is facing a group of armed men, and doing so alone would most likely be suicide. Based on his training and experience, he knows he shouldn't tackle this problem on his own. That makes sense. However, let's go back and look at something that doesn't make sense. Let's go back to McClane hearing those first gunshots. McClane peeks out the door, sees Ponytail Guy, sees the fire escape, and then uses the distraction of knockers to make a dash for the door. And here he is again, running up the stairs. My question is, why? If McClane's first instinct is to find help, why drastically limit his options by running up the stairs? After all, this is what's upstairs. 9 floors. Offices. Construction. The roof. A dead end. Here's what's downstairs. 29 floors. The garage. The main entrance. All exits from the building. Even if there was no way out from the ground floor, first floor if you're American, if the baddies had managed to seal all exits, including somehow the fire exit, then McClane doesn't know that. The man is looking for help. His first thought is to try a phone. Only the main phone wires have been cut. If only McClane knew somebody who was both in the building and had access to a working phone. Oh wait, he does, and it's Argyle. He knows that Argyle has a car phone because Argyle tells him,
"Relax, we got everything in this mug, man. Look at this. CD, CB, TV, telephone, full bar, VHS.
And he speaks to him on it. He knows that Argyle is in the garage because Argyle tells him. If McClane wants to phone for help but cannot use any of the landline phones, why not use that? And, thinking of Argyle, he drives the limo through the garage's gate late on in the film, so there was definitely a way to get out. And also the police outside could have accessed the building without going through the main entrance. I've spoken with people about this issue before, both online and in person, and there have been two main objections, which I'll now address. Objection 1. McClane doesn't go downstairs in case there are shooty gun guys waiting further down the stairs. Except, based on that logic, there could have been somebody waiting right on the other side of the door, so it would have been a bad idea to go through it in the first place. That also means overlooking the fact it's not shown in the film. If there was somebody there, why don't we see them? Finally, watch the footage again, this time with sound. McClane is not being sneaky here. He is running up the stairs at full pelt and making a real racket. Anybody close by, especially on the stairs, would have heard him. Objection 2. If McClane doesn't go upstairs, the film can't happen. To me, that's just lazy. It's ignoring a problem that could be dealt with easily. The important next step in the film is that McClane fights a minor goon and gets his hands on a radio. He doesn't need to try the phone because his call to our girl got cut off, so he should already know the phones don't work. The purpose of him pulling the fire alarm, in story terms, is to get him to fight the minor goon. Now, if said minor goon had been on the stairs, he could have chased McClane to the construction level and the rest of the film could progress as it already does. Further, the minor goon could have just finished planting a trap, say C4 with a motion sensor, to stop anybody either sneaking in or sneaking out using the stairs. That would explain why McClane also can't go downstairs for the rest of the film. There should and could have been a better reason why the lower floors are not accessible. And saying something has to happen because it's part of the plot is not an excuse. On that logic, you could have a character do literally anything as long as it leads to another part of the plot. It means you can forget about character motivation and making sense as long as you tell a story. For a film like Die Hard that gets so much right, it wouldn't have been difficult to deal with this. Before I finish, I wanted to add that Die Hard is one of my all-time favourite films. I first saw it just after its original release on a pirate VHS tape because I was far too young to see it at the cinema, and I've loved it ever since. I've easily seen it several hundred times on a variety of formats, and if there is ever a new format, I'm sure I'll buy it again. That's all for this video. Thanks for joining me. Next time, Annoying Films will be taking a look at the excellent Jim Carrey film, The Truman Show. If you've enjoyed this, check out my other videos and help yourself to a free subscription.